So you probably clicked on this video because you're in one of two camps. Camp one is you're probably confused because you thought Ernie Ball only makes guitar strings that everybody from Slash, Angus Young, Eric Clapton, Paul McCartney, literally every guitar hero ever uses. Or you're in guitar camp number two, which is an Ernie Ball fanboy, and you will swear to here to kingdom come that Ernie Ball makes the best guitars this side of the Milky Way. And if you're in camp one, let me tell you something. You are in for a treat today, my friend. So I have this habit, and I imagine you probably do too, but when I'm going to a guitar store to pick up something like strings or guitar picks, I find myself looking at the wall at guitars and seeing if anything really stands out amongst the normal guitars that are typically in your everyday guitar store. Now, if I'm in a place like Guitar Center, most of the guitars that are typically in your average Guitar Center, I'm fairly aware of, and you probably are too. It's your Fender Squiers, your Epiphone Les Pauls, your PRS SEs, some Jacksons, some Charvels, some of the little higher end, maybe one or two higher end Stratocasters, maybe a few Gibson Les Pauls, but for the most part, you know what you're walking into. And those models are all well and good, but nothing really stands out, especially if you've been playing for more than a few years. You've seen all of those guitars that Guitar Center offers, which is a huge shame because those models take up like 80%, if not more, of the guitar real estate in any given Guitar Center. And for whatever reason, one day when I was at Guitar Center to buy picks and to wait for traffic to die down, my subconscious mind decided, hey, why look at the same wall that you've seen thousands of times and look elsewhere? In that moment, I decided to look at the used guitar section. Now, I don't know if you've ever looked at the used guitar section of a Guitar Center, but depending on your location, it can look like a decrepit Kmart that's 1 week away from falling apart, or it can be an absolute gold mine. And this particular day, I was feeling kind of angsty. I had just left the gym and lifting heavy circles to make the sounds in my head go away. So I was listening to things like Pierce the Veil, All Time Low, and Falling in Reverse. It was one of those days where I should say I was looking at more pointy guitars than my normal PRS 22 or my grab-and-go Telecaster. I tested a few Ibanez's, which were pretty cool, and then I tried the Ibanez Gem, which in fact is a gem of a guitar, and I stumbled on some John Petrucci Sterling by Music Man guitars, and I remembered a good friend of mine, guitar teacher, and the guitar player for CBDB, who once said that he tours regularly with a John Petrucci Sterling guitar, and he swears by it. So I decided to take it off the wall, examine it a little bit, play a little bit around on it, check it out, and I noticed the neck was super fast. It felt really nice, but it definitely was a vibe, something that I normally wouldn't have gravitated to, but with the gym pump still going on, I was like, hey, I was in the mood. But then I noticed that it was pretty grimy. I mean, there was some dead skin still caked on there, and I'm pretty sure I saw some pizza roll crumbs in the pickup cavity. And quite frankly, to this day, I am not sure why Guitar Center still refuses to clean and polish up a little bit of their used guitars before they put it on the used guitar wall. Maybe to deter people from buying used and buy the new stuff so they could sell insurance liabilities and coverages, because I'm pretty sure Guitar Center these days is just a financial institution than an actual guitar shop. But that's an entirely different video for an entirely different day. Kind of gross. I tested it out a little bit. I felt dirty, decided to put it back. But right next to it on the wall was this peculiar guitar that I'd never seen before. It had this dark red and black curly maple finish and this roasted dark maple fretboard. And I thought, that's something you don't see every day. That guitar was this Sterling Ernie Ball Richardson6. And I knew from the second that I grabbed it, I had to buy it. Hadn't plugged it in, hadn't played a note, but I knew this guitar was coming home with me. You see, it has this really fast and slick and extremely comfortable roasted maple neck. And the second that I played it, I realized that every guitar I had played in my life was instantly inferior to this guitar neck. Look, I could tell you all the cool specs of this guitar, like the coil tapping having virtually zero loss of volume, whether it's engaged or not, to this sick 12 dB of volume boost added to the signal coil when you pull this knob out, which are both things that I discovered about this instrument after purchasing it, by the way. And when I tell you the neck changed me, I mean, I want to call up every guitar manufacturer on planet Earth and tell them, no, you're building necks wrong. This is actually the proper way to design and build a guitar neck. And I know guitar necks are somewhat personable and everybody has their own opinions, but this feels and plays exactly how my dream guitar neck should play and feel. But there was a problem. You see, at the time, I already had enough guitars. And that might seem like a self-imposed problem, or maybe a significant other had told me that I had too many guitars, but no, neither one were the case. I just know what enough gear is for me, and at the time, I had enough gear. I already had the Gibson SG that I accidentally bought on the internet, and if you're curious about that story, you can check it out there. I have the Fender Telecaster that I built with a neck from Warmouth. Again, check out that video there. I had a Fender Stratocaster that my dad gave me for graduation from college. And I had a PRS S2 Standard 24 that I actually bought at Guitar Center, having a very similar experience to this Richardson6 guitar. And that guitar already had 24 frets and it had humbuckers. So I really didn't feel like I needed another one. But this neck, this neck haunted me. Like, I went home and I laid out my PRS and my Gibson next to each other, and I contemplated for a long time, should I sell one of these to get that Richardson6? But my biggest holdback at the time was I really don't play a whole lot of heavy music. I mean, I think the heaviest music that I really play is like Guns N' Roses, like Velvet Revolver, some Slash stuff, right? And like Iron Maiden and some Metallica stuff every now and then. Like, I listen and love like Pierce the Veil and Falling in Reverse, but I really don't play that kind of music, so I didn't really need a metal guitar. But that neck haunted me. So I decided to do what any guitar player with a touch of self-control would do. And that was to just sell one of my guitars for this guitar neck. I mean, fully functional guitar. And as you can tell, this is still my PRS S2 Standard 24. And I can already hear you like yelling through your phone, like, dude, Ryan, like, why is this guitar neck so important? Well, first off, the neck and subsequently the fingerboard are really the only things that you interact with on a guitar, if you really think about it. And I'm not talking about like electronics, like knobs and switches and stuff like that, but like when you're thinking about the actual guitar, like the wood of the guitar, that's the only thing your hands really touch. Think about it. If you're holding a guitar pick, you're not touching the strings of the guitar. Your guitar pick is touching the strings of the guitar. You're just touching this piece of plastic, Tortex, whatever you use, a penny from Mexico. And sure, you could say, well, I fingered pick. Yeah, you do, but are your fingers touching the guitar or are they touching the strings? And sure, you can make the argument that strings are part of the guitar and without the strings, you don't have a guitar. And yes, I would tend to agree with you, but I think 95% of us players out there are playing guitar with a guitar pick. Or at least the guys watching this video. Let me know. Do you play with a pick or do you play with your fingers? I'm curious. Let me know down below. Secondly, go pick up or at least try one of these guitars, regardless of what music genre you play, because it really might change your guitar playing life. Like I said in my best guitars for country music video, Jason Aldean's guitar players tend to play guitars that aren't typically found in country music. They play EVH Wolfgang guitars instead of the standard Telecaster. It's just like Dominic Toretto said, it's not how you stand there with your guitar around your neck, it's how you play your guitar. Now, I do want to address one thing, because there is something that I find slightly annoying, and that is the placement of the pickup selector. You see, it is literally right there where you're going to pick, and if you pick like me, you probably shouldn't be picking with like a fan going out, but that's what I do, and I tend to hit it. And it's kind of annoying. But that's literally the only thing that drives me slightly to the point of annoyance. But other than that, this might be my new #1 guitar. Very well could be. And you might be seeing it a lot more in future videos because I love playing this guitar. But like I said earlier, I'm very partial to Telecasters. There's something about the music that I play and Telecasters that just kind of go together like peanut butter and bananas. And at the time of recording this video, Music Man, Ernie Ball, they don't make Telecaster style guitars. And the closest thing that I've ever come across is the Albert Lee, who is an insane chicken picker in his own rights, guitar by Music Man, and it looks nothing like a Telecaster. That was the first Ernie Ball I had ever played, and I fell in love with that neck too, but I'm like, the shape, the price at the time was like 10 years ago. It was just too much. And, you know, Albert Lee is kind of more known from playing a Strat style guitar before his signature came out. So Ernie Ball, if you hear this, like if you can make your roasted maple necks with a Telecaster body, I swear I will be the first person to buy that guitar. I will buy it tomorrow if you announce, hey, we have this roasted maple guitar with this exact same neck. All the necks that you make, the Albert Lee one, this one, they're all fantastic. But here it is on a Telecaster. I will be the first person to sign up and sing your praises till the kingdom come. So yeah, that's my take on Ernie Ball. I love the guitar necks. There's never been a guitar neck made by Ernie Ball, Music Man, all those Sterling companies that I have not thoroughly enjoyed. And I think they are the biggest sleeper when it comes to guitar necks. So yeah, let me know. Do you like Sterling Music Man? Do you like Music Man? Do you like Ernie Ball? You like those necks? Let me know in the comment section down below. Check out one of these videos over here, and I'll see you in a future video. Thanks, Ernie Ball, for making incredible, incredible guitar necks. And until next time, let the music play.